What's up, everybody? This is season 2, episode. I said season 2, but I had my finger pointing up for 1. This is season 2, episode 1 of the Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show. As you can see, if you're watching, we're outside in the woods. Usually, Asher and I are separated, and we're on a video Zoom call. But this is the new season of Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show, where we talk about running, Texas. If you don't know, Asher and I are both race directors, and so our job, what we do for a living, is literally put on running races. And so if this is your first time, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, I bet you're glad to finally see the podcast come up, because it's been like a month, and we used to go every single week. So, with that being said, welcome to the Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show. I'm your host, Briston Rains. I am the owner and operations manager at Texas Outlaw Running Company. To my right,
Asher Hamlin, new race director for Texas Outlaw Running Company in my first month as an employee. Excited to be here. Season 2, baby.
Yeah. Where are we at right now? What's this place? Cedar Park?
Cedar Park Reserve.
Cedar Breaks Park?
I think it's Cedar Park Preserve.
We're in Dallas?
We're in Dallas.
Okay. We're in Dallas right now. We're actually about to run a race on this trail. Asher and I entered into a 9-hour relay. We're also going to be doing that with Billy. And so we're going to be running that tonight. But we figured, hey, 5 hours before we start in 3 hours.
3 hours till we race.
We need to start eating dinner now, bro. We're going to throw up.
So we got to hurry up and do this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not going to let it go too long because we got to eat dinner. So,
well, explain to the people what we're doing here in a couple hours.
Yeah, so we're doing a 9-hour relay here in Dallas called the Lanutes. And basically how it works is we're going to be running a 3-mile loop. Is it 3?
It's like a 5K, yeah.
Okay, we're running a 3-mile loop on this hiking trail at night. And it's a relay, so we take turn running loops. And we do that for 9 hours. So I'll run, Asher will run, Billy will run. And we do that till 4 a.m. Starts at 7 p.m. We do that till 4 a.m. And we hope to win. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're both extremely undertrained. I've had a rough 2 or 3 weeks of sicknesses and all kinds of stuff. And Asher's been really busy. He moved from Florida to Waco, Texas, and has been race directing. So we're both very undertrained.
I'd say within the last month, I've probably run a total of maybe 15 times. So, I mean, that's not bad, but it's not like I'm super trained up for a big effort tonight. But I think it's gonna go better than we probably both expect. But we won't know until we get out there and we start our run. So.
Yeah. But, anyways, since we last left our previous podcast, I almost pulled a Joe Biden there.
You almost did, man. Stumbling over your words.
Since our last podcast, there was a guy that emailed me, and he's from Ethiopia, he says, and he wanted me to write him an official document saying that we're inviting him to come out to these races. And he emailed me this. He was like, hey, can you provide me an official document, for me to provide, I think, to the U.S. Embassy so he could get into the country. And this is when all the border stuff was going crazy. Anyways, this guy emails me. So I email him back a letter inviting him to a race. And he's like, can you redo it and make it to where you're saying that you're sponsoring me and paying me to come? And I was like, I can't lie. I was like, I ain't gonna lie. So, actually what I did is I called, he sent me over his ID and everything. I called the Homeland Security on the phone, and I called them up. I told them his name, how he was basically wanting me to lie to get him into the country. Because I didn't know if this dude was a terrorist. And, I was looking at his ID. He did not look like your typical Ethiopian. Because your typical Ethiopian is very tall, figures, dark skin. This guy had very tan skin. I think on his ID he wasn't tall. He just wanted to get in the country. Anyways, called up Homeland Security. They were like, "Thanks for letting us know." And he kept on emailing me back after, and I just told him, I was like, I can't lie. So I said deuces to him.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. So
Bristol's out here. You're out here defending the country. Not letting terrorists in via the business. That's kind of nice.
Potential terrorist.
Potential terrorist. You're right. He might have been a normal guy, just trying to run some races. But also, that's kind of sketchy. You never know who you're letting in, so that's probably a good call.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, but what's so unique about that is like that is definitely a doable way to like get into the country.
Yeah.
And then also, like you have to be in the position of a race organizer to be able to give these people what they're looking for.
Right.
So, yeah. I probably would have got a bunch of emails flooding in after that from a bunch of his friends.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was pretty wild. And then, so we partook on a very big thing. So basically, all of Texas Outlaw and our assets are stationed in Longview, Texas. Asher's moving to Waco, and as a race director, he has to have access to everything. So we had to move all of our equipment, which it took up a 10 by 25 unit. So 250 square foot of space. We had arches, running arches, tents, bunch of boxes, course marking supplies, old medals.
tables, water jugs,
You name it, bro.
merch,
The
everything.
Texas Outlaw equipment. So we had to move that all the way to Waco. Took 2 trips in a 7 by 14 foot trailer. But that was kind of a cool story because we were looking around for like a 300 square foot unit in Waco.
Yeah.
And I call this guy up. It's this old guy. And he's like, yeah, I'll just cut a hole out in the wall for you to make a 300 square foot unit. Because he had a 10 by 20 and a 10 by 10. He's like, I'll cut a hole. I'll cut the wall out for you. Sure enough, when we got there, you can see where the wall was cut out.
Yep.
And Asher has a 300 square foot unit now.
And it's actually the nicest thing ever because, I mean, even a 10 by 20, if that's what we had stuck with, like a 200 square foot unit, it would have not been enough space at all. And now, if you can imagine it, so there's like one bay door on one side,
Yeah.
and then all the way across, 30 feet, there's another bay door. So whenever I'm working in there, I can throw both of them open. I got airflow. I got light from outside. It's like best setup ever.
It is a really good setup.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like if you were to pay for that commercially, people would be charging like $500 a month. We're paying like $90 a month for that.
Yeah.
For 2 bay doors and
It's actually the best setup in the world.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good setup. But what was funny is on the way when we were moving, we were going through Tyler, Texas, and I was pulling the trailer, and there was this guy, and Asher was behind me, and there was this guy that as I was making a turn, he tried to hop in the back of my truck on the way to the storage unit.
Yeah. Briston was, I think you were pulling out of a gas station. There was this guy, and he was kind of eyeing him, and it looked like he was homeless, or he was trying to get something from Briston.
Oh, no.
And, like he was hitchhiking or trying to. Anyways, literally, as Briston makes the turn, this guy kind of walks out, and he, like, eyes the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And is, like, thinking about, you could see on his face, he was thinking about hopping in. And I was like, I texted Briston right after that. I was like, bro, this homeless dude or whatever, he just tried to hop in the back of your truck, like, straight up. He's like, what? Briston couldn't see it, I guess, because the mirrors
Yeah.
were
I saw him, but I didn't know he tried hopping in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually wild.
Yeah, we got Asher moved into the place in Waco. He's been getting settled in there. He lives right by Baylor, if you ever want to go find him.
Right by Baylor, y'all. Literally.
Yep, right by Baylor.
If you follow me on Strava, you can probably figure out where my house is. So.
Well, Strava, they implemented the hidden visibility of your start and finish points. So I have all my start and finish points like within 400 meters, like a range to where wherever I start running, like you can't see where I start.
Right.
Because think about it. I mean, this might sound crazy, but and this is me just
Paranoid Briston.
Yeah, you know me. I'm always extra careful. But But like if with me doing all these races, I'm competing with other race companies.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to take me out, they could just find out where I live by going on my Strava.
Sabotage you.
Yeah, and try to take me out so
That's
that way the
true.
races stop. Which you can't. Now it's set up to where if you take me out, Asher's still doing the races.
Yeah, that's
and if you
true.
take Asher out, I'm still doing it. So
You gotta commit a double homicide.
yeah, you gotta go to Longview and Waco to get us. So, anyways, though, I was like low-key paranoid about that kind of stuff. People trying to come find me because of the influence we have now within the running community. So I set that up on Strava to where you can't see where I live, and so where I start my runs, it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Like anywhere within like a quarter mile. So
That's kind of nice.
yeah.
I should probably do the same, but I don't feel as much paranoia yet, at least.
No, I mean Trump almost just got assassinated, bro. Like.
That's true.
So,
these are trying
not saying I'm
times.
next on the list or anything, but I'm starting early covering my track stuff.
Yeah.
I just think about that stuff, dude. I don't know. I get paranoid. I just like, I don't know. Somebody could want to hurt me or something, so I'm just careful. That's why we're in Texas, baby. That's why I'm carrying too. Not right now, but
Briston stays strapped.
we
so
stay
y'all watch
strapped. So like, if you come to our races, like we got security. Like you ain't got to worry. Asher's soon to be strapped.
out. Yep.
So
In the process.
yeah. So if you come to our races, know you're safe.
Know you're cared after. Know you got people that have got your back.
Yeah, to where if someone tries to pull any crazy stuff, like we got guys, me and Asher, you know, we're prepared to take out anyone that's harming our lives. So
And we've had some, like, I mean, I can only think of the one backland story that we both share of the guy kind of freaking out. We've only had one incident where it's like somebody's freaked out over stuff. And luckily that was pretty confined and didn't really affect a whole lot of people.
well,
But
I'll remind them of the story too, because that was a long time ago when we shared that. But that was like the first year of the backland race, which is the last man standing we do. And it's on public land, and there were some hunters walking back in the woods. And one guy, this guy actually has really big influence. I still follow him to this day, but he owns this big nonprofit, and he actually like meets with high quality people. Like he had a video of him and Mark Wahlberg walking together through his factory. But this guy, he makes a lot of money. He's big influence. He has a family. That's his background. And he was running through the woods, and he saw these guys in camo with these guns, and it freaked him out. And he quit and like left the race.
But he came back to the start and finish line and had a huge like to do about.
Yeah, he's throwing a fit.
He was kind of throwing a fit, but it was probably warranted. Although it's like, man, we don't have control over who's out there in the woods. Like, yeah, we want to put on a safe event, but unfortunately, you know, some hunters are going to disregard the fact that, hey, there's probably an event with human beings going on in these woods. I probably ought not hunt here.
Well,
and another part of that was his brother or his cousin or something had been killed in a hunting accident where
I didn't know that.
Yeah, where somebody like shot him because they thought he was game, and so I think that was the main root of his freaking out, which is understandable, but it's like, I don't know. We were prepared to bring that like energy down to, all right, let's calm down. We understand that, you know, that was probably a dangerous situation, but
yeah, I mean, as soon as he told us, I went back there with the resort manager.
Oh yeah,
because it was on a resort, and like they had parked their trucks and like ran over our course marking signs, and they were really kind of just jerks. Like they ran over our course marking signs. They put their truck in the middle of the trail to where you can't go around it, so we had to cut branches off to go around the truck. Yeah, those guys were just jerks. But
yeah,
generally, if you sign up for a trail race, there is a potential for hunters and things like that to be on the trail, because most trail races happen on public land, and they happen in the cooler months when it's hunting season.
Yep.
So if you're running a trail race, like there is a potential of there being hunters out there.
Yep.
And that's why when a trail race encourages you to wear bright orange, you should probably wear bright orange.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Something cool on that though. So we just put on the Noche trail runs, which is in
yeah.
Junction, Texas. I was talking to the park ranger, actually one of the park hosts, picking up course markings with them afterwards, and I was asking about all the blinds because they have deer blinds or hunting blinds all over the property.
The bird blinds.
Yeah, well, those, and then they have actual like hunting blinds.
Oh, okay.
And so I was asking him about that. They were like, or he was like, yeah. So a couple weekends out of the hunting season, they close down the park completely, and it's a lottery system that they allow like 20 hunters in to go hunt in each of those specific blinds. I was like, that's really cool.
That is cool.
And it keeps everybody safe because it's like, hey, we're gonna close down this land to everybody except the hunters, and they're the only ones that are allowed, on the public land while the hunt's going on. So I think a lot of state parks probably operate that way, especially in Texas. But we were on private land, so it was like kind of anything goes. Texans, man, Texans.
Public land, Army Corps of Engineers. If you ever run a race and it's on Army Corps of Engineer property, and it's in the fall, there's probably going to be some hunters. So
Yeah.
just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we haven't had any issues though. Like honestly, I tell a lot of these like land managers, like when we're doing these races, very few races actually have injuries. Like I think it's literally less than a 1% chance to get injured at a trail race. Like less than 1%, because last year we did like 15 events, and we had one guy fall and break his shoulder, and it was an older guy.
Yeah.
That was it. Out of like 15 events with hundreds of people at all of them.
Yeah.
So it's really like a 1 in probably 1,000 chance of actually falling and getting injured at a trail race.
Right.
From
happening.
From our experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally they're safe though.
Yeah.
So.
Which is good. That's how we want our events to be, safe.
Yeah. We're always prepared.
Always prepared.
I made you get your wilderness certification.
Yeah.
I got that a year ago, and I really am glad I had it. Yeah. So they're safe. I think all trail race instructors need to have some sort of like wilderness certification. Like it can't be some city slicker coming in, trying to deal with stuff and not having any education at all.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. No, it's definitely important. I mean, it allows you the know-how. That's what I like about it, is allows you the know-how to deal with things that just happen. Like, you think about the one year that we put on the Texas Diablo, the one and only year. If we had had some additional training, it might have just made helping some of those athletes a little smoother. But in the end, we had EMS at our disposal, so that made it probably, I don't know,
On all
a
of
lot
our,
easier to deal with.
A lot of these places, they ask what our emergency plan is. I just say 911.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what's going to happen anyways. Like, regardless if an emergency happens, 911's being called, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be responding to it.
Yeah.
So, like, our job is just to locate the runner.
Right.
It's their job to actually treat the runner.
Right.
So, our job is to find them, try to get them off the trail.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, anyways, yeah, so I'm trying to catch everybody up on our story. It's been a crazy month. So after we got Asher moved in, Asher did the Noche trail runs. He did the Longview trail runs. Here we are this weekend, and then we got the Bear Country Night Trek in Waco, Texas next weekend. So
Pretty busy July.
yeah.
I don't know, the Noche was fun. So Briston, the week prior, or maybe 2 weeks prior, I think. So I moved to Waco 2 weeks prior to the Noche, and we knew that was going to be a big race.
July 1st.
That's one of our biggest, right?
Oh.
So yeah, I moved from Florida, drive all of my fiance and my stuff in a little U-Haul and a truck all the way from Florida to here. Did it in one fell swoop. what was it like? Oh, I drove to Longview first.
You drove how many hours?
Probably like 17 hours.
All at once?
All at once. It really wasn't bad though. It was just like up early and then on the road all day, and then I got in and had some dinner with y'all, and it was just like I had been in the car all day. Which I don't know. Maybe that's a blessing that I'm able to go on long road trips and not really feel the effects. But anyways, got in, and the week prior I was thinking of going to this Bible school that week for a couple days.
If you went, bro, oh my gosh.
And because I was thinking, yeah, we just got to do a couple loads of our stuff, move it into a storage unit. It's going to take me a couple hours. This is what I was thinking prior to. And I just got to put all my stuff in the apartment, in our apartment in Waco, and it shouldn't take me that long. I should be able to, this is what I was thinking, I should be able to get back from the Bible school on like Sunday, and then Monday we can move all the stuff in the storage unit and into the apartment. Tuesday, I can get what I need from the storage unit, put it in the trailer, and then Wednesday I can go out to the race. So I was thinking I could put all of those things in like 3 days.
And what was I telling you?
And well, you didn't really say much. That was what was funny about it. Is like you were like, I don't know, bro. Like it's just gonna be a lot. That's kind of all you said. You texted me and you were like, it's just gonna be a lot for a couple days.
I was low-key kind of pissed when you texted me that, bro, because I was like, we already planned for you to come July 1st.
Yeah.
You're trying to move this thing 5 days later, and you're trying to crunch all that stuff in 3 days.
Which I didn't learn of Bristen's feelings to that until like after I decided to just go ahead and not go to the Bible school and do everything that I needed to do in that 1.5 week span instead of like 3 days. And so anyways, we ended up, like we were talking about earlier, moving all the stuff into the storage unit, and that took 2 days. I moved all my stuff into my apartment, and really it was just like boxes and getting a couple things out, literally like setting up a place to sleep. That took a day. And then it was like, I think I had to run back to Austin for something. And anyways, end up getting up to Tuesday of that following week, and I've still got to like heat press shirts, do the signs, and I'm like looking back on all of it. And I think I texted you at this point. I was like, dude, there's absolutely no way I would have been able to get all this done in 3 days. Like I would have had to stay up for 48 hours straight to even like get close to being able to finish all that stuff. So, but thankfully, honestly, bro, it was probably God. He was telling me, like, a little voice in my head. He was like, there's no way. Like, you should give yourself more time, not less time. So,
yes, I've always lived by the philosophy, and I tell you this, I've always lived by the philosophy that it's better to have more time than less time.
Right. Yeah.
And if you end up, getting there super early and having extra time, then enjoy that extra time. But case I've learned, most of the time, most things take longer than you expect.
Yeah.
And so
it's nice to have a cushion as opposed to like have to be crunched for time.
I call it time insurance.
Yeah, time insurance. There you go.
It's time insurance. So you got comfortable feeling. You're like, okay, I'm getting there early, and if I have extra time, even better.
That's literally it, bro. It's time insurance. So yeah, I gave myself that cushion, and the Noche ended up being really good. Bunch of course marking. The second day I was course marking, which was Thursday. So I course marked a little bit Wednesday afternoon, most of Thursday, and then like half of Friday. So Thursday, about, I don't even know, like 7 miles into the 14 or 13 and a half mile trail, the course bike, our course marking bike, which is the e-bike, it totally like screws up on me. So what happened was a rock shot up into the wheel well, and it got jammed. And so then the motor, in that moment when it was trying to move forward, like just broke or something. And anyways, I tried to get it going several times, and it just would not move forward. You could hear the little motor turning, but it just wouldn't move forward. And so anyways, now I'm out 7 miles on this trail, and literally, bro, I'm like low on water, and
this bike is heavy. It's like 60
so
pounds.
Heavy. It's ridiculous, and it's not like you can just pedal with it up hills and stuff. And this course is a lot of up and down all around.
Yeah.
And So I'm like, "Ugh, what am I gonna do?" So anyways, I ended up taking the shortcut back, and it's luckily most of it's a downhill, and so I'm like, well, Friday I got a course 7 miles on foot, which luckily, Briston has discovered, as have I, is like having a course marking bike is really nice. It cuts course marking probably
half the time.
yeah, more than half. Like if you're doing a really long trail, it's probably more than half the time you're cutting off. But we have the experience of doing a lot of big trails or a lot of long trails on foot anyways, so it's like not a big deal for me to have to pivot. So I course marked the rest on Friday, and did you end up coming out Friday?
Yep.
Yeah. So Briston was out there with Carly, and that was nice having them help set up. But it was my first all-nighter in a while, so that was interesting. Briston gave me the break. Oh, this is funny. So like, it's an all-night race. So the cutoff's what? 6 a.m.
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
So they run from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I'm race directing pretty much the entire time up until like I think 5, right?
Yeah, I'd come and get you at 6.
Yeah. So Briston came and he was like, I'm gonna give you an hour to sleep and I'll race direct for like that last hour. So I'm like, all right, perfect. So 6 a.m. rolls around, Briston gets there, and I'm like, I literally just bolt for the trailer. I'm so tired. Actually, I'd started to wake up at that point. But I get into the trailer and it's got our little mattress and our little AC unit in there, and it's not plugged up, but luckily it was like cool outside, so it wasn't
like
hot in
70.
there.
Yeah.
And I get in there, bro, and for some reason, I think it was just because it was 7 a.m., but everyone starts waking up. And so all I hear outside is like people cheering, the bell. We have this little cowbell at the race. We have this little bell at the race, and people will like clang it all the time. So I'm just hearing all these noises, and literally my brain is just like firing on all cylinders. Like, why aren't you out there? Why aren't you, cheering these people on? Or I'm not even thinking that, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even sleep for that last hour.
I'll give you 2 hours, really.
What was it?
No, I'll give you an hour and a half.
Yeah. So that's right, because we didn't start cleaning up till 7:30. But
yeah.
Anyways, first all nighter in a while. It was interesting, like catching up on sleep after that. But that was a good race. I had fun.
Yeah, these all-nighter races, I've noticed the worst time is between 4.
Literally.
And
it's probably like 3. Probably 3 to 4:30 or 5.
I would say 3 to 6. Or 3 to 5 are the worst hours.
I was so tired at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4
that
o'clock.
Literally I was sitting there in the chair, just like I am now, like waiting for headlights to show up down the trail, and I was just like bobbing off constantly, man.
I've noticed, so when I did the Fire Trail Running Festival, which is also an all-nighter, I was surprised about how well my body did doing an all-nighter. I guess after like 5 of them in 2 years, or 10 of them in 2 years, your body gets used to them. But
yeah,
I noticed sitting down is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
At the Fire Trail Running Festival, I was doing that. I started standing up, walking around. Like, I was also getting stuff in the trailer, kind of getting some stuff done early so I could leave. And I noticed just, like, walking around doing stuff, like, I felt normal.
Yeah.
It's when you sit in the chairs.
Yeah, it was 100%. I was sitting in the chair. And I was thinking about that. I was like, if I just get up and start, like, talking to people or walking around, I'll be fine. Yeah. But no part of me wanted to. Every part of me wanted to sleep. And, like, 0% of me was like, you should try your best to stay awake. Because I knew I was going to stay awake. Because, obviously, runners are still out there. I was race directing. But we got through it.
Think about the runners, bro. They're 35 miles in. It's 4 a.m.
Yeah, but they got stuff to do. It's like, all I have to do is just, like, wait for them to come in, make sure I get their time, and give them a medal.
Yeah, they are kind of awake.
Like, they're doing stuff. I'm just sitting here waiting on them.
Yeah.
But that one was good. And then, yeah, Longview Trail Runs. Had that one. That was super easy.
Yeah, we had to weed eat and chainsaw 3 miles of trail.
I thought my days as a laborer, as like working weed eating and mowing and all that was over. But here we are in Longview having to make us an entire trail from scratch, felt like.
No, it was there. There's a lot of wins and stuff since we hadn't touched that trail in 3 months.
Yeah.
So for 3 months straight, that trail was getting beat by tons of storms, and nobody runs it except for when they do our race. So we get in there, and there's grass on the trail, logs, vines everywhere.
Tell them what the city did.
So the city, they're helping us, and I appreciate their help so much. And the guy, he has such a good heart behind it. And the city, they bring in this, what's it called?
Like an auger?
It's this tractor with a mulcher on the front.
Yeah, it's like an auger.
It's like a giant metal mulcher. Anyways, they go through a single track trail, which is like a foot wide, and they mow this thing out 5 foot wide. And they take,
and tell them what the idea was.
Yeah, so their idea was to mulch this thing out 4 foot wide to where they can take their zero turns on them or mowers on the trail and just mow it.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to weed eat.
So instead of it being like a single track trail, it would have been like just this long,
wide trail,
wide patch of grass that they would just be able to go in and mow instead of it being dirt, which is funny.
Yeah, that was kind of like the dream scenario, which it always seems better in the head.
Yeah.
But anyways, we get out there after they do this. They probably did a mile of the trail like that. And this trail is like, there's crap all over the trail. There's these logs sticking up out. It was like worse than before.
Yeah.
So we went through and like blew it out and
picked up tons of sticks.
I just accepted defeat right there. I was like, we're just going to stick to weed eating this thing because this is not going to work. And even the city, I think they realized that because where they turn around, like they would have never been able to go up some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyways, Asher followed me for 3 miles with a weed eater. He weed eated. I chainsawed. We hit this one spot called the Wall. There's a guy that went out there before. He was doing a lot of the trail work. Shout out to Randy. He did about a mile of trail until he hit the Wall. But the river or the creek that this trail is right next to had came over and flushed out like tons of like bamboo and vines and logs. And so there was probably a 20-foot part of the section of the trail, 20 foot wide, just completely covered with bamboo, vines, and logs. And so I get in there with the chainsaw. We were
going crazy.
We cut through that thing, dude. Opened the trail up, got through the wall.
Yep.
So that was something.
And what's wild about that section is you see the creek off to your left when you're going down the trail and whenever you hit the wall. And literally the water is probably 10 or 12 feet below where it would have had to have been to push all this stuff up over the trail. So it flooded so bad there during, I guess, Hurricane Irma.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That water level got up to 10, 12 feet higher than what it normally was.
What's the name of that hurricane?
I think it was Irma.
No, it's not Irma.
Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl came through and wrecked our trail. Yeah. So literally, you can literally see it on the map. But like the hurricane literally, with the eye still in it, went over northeast Texas. Which is crazy to me because I thought hurricanes stopped at the shore, but it kept being a hurricane.
Yeah.
And there was tornadoes spinning off it. Crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Anyways, and that flooded everything. Yep. So.
But luckily, other than like one section, it was pretty dry. So we didn't have to deal with the muck or the mud that much. But on race day, they definitely had to deal with it a little bit. People said it was muddier than I definitely expected, but it wasn't as muddy as like our spring or winter race. So
yeah, it wasn't as muddy in July as it was in April when we did it, or it might have been May. Yeah, it was just crazy.
But that was a good little race. We had some sponsors there, and they allowed us to bring some of their vehicles to the start and finish line, and
that was cool.
Yeah.
So we had a sponsor called Ora GMC in Longview, and they sponsored our Longview race. And the guy, I'm connected with him through our people at church. So the manager of this place, he texts me, and he's like, hey. Or I text him, I'm like, are y'all going to set up y'all's cars like y'all usually do? Because usually they bring 2 really nice cars. Last year, their last race, they brought out a Hummer. $100,000 vehicle, electric vehicle, Hummer. Anyway, so he was like, hey, I don't have time. Can you come pick up the cars? So they gave me the keys to this nice 2024 GMC AT4 Sierra, biggest, baddest GMC truck you can get. And then they gave us the GMC Canyon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they gave me the keys to this thing, and I drive it. I was so scared driving it, bro. Because I was like, I don't want... One, I don't have to pay for anything. I don't want my insurance to have to pay for anything. But we drive it to the race site, and we get to driving back after the race. That was cool. It was a big old truck. The thing was fancy. It was like an $80,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
Anyways, man. Yeah, that thing. And then you started it up, and it was
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool.
It was cool. One of the perks of having cool sponsors, I guess.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was cool. We get to drive those around. Race itself went good. Ended that race. Cleaned up. Had a little bit of a down week. It's been a week since that race. Ash and I have gotten to relax a little bit, less busy. So it's been nice.
Yep.
So that brings us to here at the Lanute in Dallas.
Lanute.
Apparently we're about to run for 9 hours at night.
Literally here in 2 hours we're gonna start. And I guess
Dude,
said,
we should. I don't want to eat dinner 2 hours before.
Well, I'm gonna eat like an appetizer.
Okay,
probably.
I'll eat, but I'm not eating a big meal.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat like an appetizer.
Because if we're starting in 2 hours,
I might not even eat, to be honest. I might just go get like some soda or tea or
Bro,
something.
we really need to cut this podcast off and go because I gotta get ice. We gotta find somewhere to eat.
Riston's getting antsy.
And there's traffic.
And somebody's gotta start, and Billy ain't here yet, so.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We gotta start at 7.
Yeah. Man. We had a lot of content to cover this past month. It's been a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we're even missing stories that I'm not thinking of right now.
Probably. It's so easy to do.
Yeah. I guess one of the big things is as you maybe said at the beginning of this episode, all our episodes will now be in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
So Briston and I have decided.
Oh, we got
be
the
really
stickers.
cool. Oh yeah, we got stickers. So for all you guys and gals,
Email us.
email.
Do you have the stickers or do I?
I have like 2 of them.
I have them.
You have them all.
Email texasoutlawnrunning@gmail.com. Just email us sticker. And email us your address, and I will mail you a Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show sticker for free. The sticker is what you see right now on the podcast. It's that fire. It's me and him sitting around a fire. It's that logo. It says Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show. If you email me, the first 40 people that email me, I will ship you one out for free. I will literally write on an envelope your address, put the sticker in, put a stamp on, and send it out.
Sweet. That's a deal right there. And they're sweet. They're sweet stickers. The logo's really cool. I don't think I look very much like the guy in the picture, but Briston thinks I do. So.
I look like a Chinese dude. The thing about that graphic artist is the graphic design guy.
Uh-huh.
He's based, I think, Thailand. He's very talented, but all his photos or all his designs he sends me with people in it, they all look like Asian. And so I have to tell him, can they look more American? Because everything...
Does he not have a picture of us?
I sent him pictures of us.
He's just like...
But
yeah, I don't think they look like me or Briston really that much at all. But that's okay. It's still like...
He must have never seen Americans before because I had him do a logo for me for a race on a beach that ended up getting canceled because of Burl. But he sent me a picture, and it's 50 Asian people with their eyes kind of all squinty,
Oh my god.
running, and they're all super white, pale skin.
Oh my god.
I was like, dude,
He just didn't know how to draw I don't know, American
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah.
Facial structures.
Anyways, but the logo we got is the best one I could get from him. He is talented. He's done a lot of our other ones, so.
Sweet. But yeah, anyways, all our locations for the podcast from now on will be
in the woods,
wooded areas, and
once a month.
Yeah, once a month, and I assume eventually we'll probably have some campfire episodes.
Yeah.
In the dark episodes. I don't know. We're gonna be creative with it.
Yeah. If it's raining, I may or may not because I don't want the sound of the rain to get on the mic unless that's soothing.
Well, I mean, we'll have personal mics next time, probably.
Yeah, and shout out to all our Patreon members. I know we got 2, I think, Patreon members.
Hey!
And those guys donate to us monthly out of the good of their heart. Jason, and then I'm trying to think of the other guy. Sorry, I forgot your name. But those 2 guys, they're donating Patreon just because they want the show to keep on going. So if you do enjoy the show and you want to see it grow and be better and you find value in it, you can join the Patreon. So they're all going to be outdoors.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting.
Doing
What's
well.
up? Hey, can you come on our podcast?
I could.
Can you stand right here?
Sure.
This is the race director of the race that we're actually about to start.
Come on in
Run.
here. Join us.
You said you're Joe?
Yeah, I'm Joe.
Okay. This is Joe, the race director of Lanute. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Joe Freeberg, and my wife and I are the founders of Equipped Disciples, which is the sponsors of this race, and this race helps us support our Bible studies that are in Africa.
Yeah, y'all check them out. So this is a podcast we do. It's a running podcast, and we do it in the woods.
Okay, this
So-
is great. This is really nice setup here.
Isn't it nice?
So,
These are
anyways, so
wonderful
we figured since we're on the race, we could do the podcast.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, very good.
Yep.
Well, welcome. Yeah, we have this race twice a year, spring and summer.
oh, cool. I didn't know y'all did it twice a year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
And so in the summer, it's at night, and
Yeah.
try to keep it nice and cool and keep
Nice and
everyone
cool.
Surviving.
Yeah.
But encourage them in spiritual things as well as in running.
There
All
you go.
things running, and
That's
Yeah.
good.
lots of runners like to come out and prepare all night for this.
Yeah, we do another podcast called the Christian Trail Bros.
Okay.
And
cool.
talk about trail running,
Uh-huh.
Christianity, and stuff. So,
All right.
yeah, another guy that does that with us, he's going to be here. So,
He's our 3rd member of our
yeah.
3-man relay.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
What's the name of your relay team?
We're the Christian Trail Bros.
Okay. I
There
saw
you go.
y'all on there, so there you
That's
go.
the name of our relay. So,
Very good.
yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Glad to have y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we're glad to be here, and we're looking forward to it. So,
Okay.
It's going to be a good
Very
race.
good. Well, it's going to be good.
That's right.
God bless y'all.
thanks,
God
man.
bless.
Run good.
Thanks,
I'll
Joe.
See you tonight.
All right.
So
There
cool.
you go.
There's a cool pop and plug. How far are we in right now? What does that say? 43 minutes. That's pretty good.
That's good enough.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, Asher and I was gonna eat a full meal, but that's probably not wise. That's like a noob move right there. To eat a big meal 2 hours before a race. That's a noob move.
Well, that's, probably a bad move for you, too. So,
Yeah, especially me with my like stomach acid issues, which I got medicine for it now. That's been helping.
I would not suggest you eat a full meal right now.
I'm gonna eat a big pizza
Oh,
and a
no.
bunch of soda.
Oh, no. All right.
No, I'm thinking like Smoothie King.
He's on the Smoothie King train
Bro,
lately.
Smoothie King. I can.
Bristen's
Bro,
been like,
it's like 1,200 calories.
bro, I've been getting my calories in. I've been doing the superfood Superman smoothie in the mornings.
It's Daily Warrior.
Daily Warrior,
It's like
1,200 calories.
Yeah.
That's how I start my day. How do you start your day?
I never said
I was
that.
like, what?
I never said that.
Just kidding.
Anyways. All right, y'all. Well, hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Season 2, episode 1 of the Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show. Let us know what you think. Email me. You got my email now. It's texasoutlawnrunning@gmail.com. Email me your address. And if you have any ideas, shoot them our way. If you want to be on the podcast, if you want to join us in the woods, email us. I'm not going to accept everybody.
Might make that happen.
Don't get your feelings hurt if you don't get accepted. It's just, Asher knows this. I'm particular.
Bristen's
And there's a
particular man.
certain thing I look for, and I can't define it quite yet, but I just know it when I know it. So, it's like art. So, anyways, well, thanks for listening. We'll see y'all next month, within the next 30 days on the Texas Outlaw Running Talk Show. So, yeah, see you.
Happy trails, y'all.
Happy trails. We'll make that a t-shirt soon.
Soon.
See ya.